Good evening. Good evening. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. On day 31 of the Learning How to Flow in Midlife 55-day series, Why I Don't Beg Anymore at all. Not having it. This is the Unapologetic 55-day series in a midlife movement for women ready to break cycles, rewrite beliefs, and boldly shift into what's next for them. Yes. In tonight's Unapologetic and Empowering episode, I am exploring the shift from desperation to dignity. I'm breaking down the reasons we beg for love, approval, and opportunities and belonging, and how midlife invites us to reclaim our power. This episode is a declaration of worthiness, reminding us that begging is not a requirement for receiving what we deserve. 55 days of giveaways. Somebody cue the confetti. Yes. Tonight's giveaway is lesson 31 in my signature course, Your Midlife, Your Way, a journey to an unapologetically authentic self. And lesson 31 is love your spiritual self. Here is the QR code, just in case you couldn't catch it on the other screen. Yes, I am excited that you are here, and let's jump into it. So, you all know each night I have been using my flow framework where we face the unbelief, let go of the lie, own your story, and win at the next chapter. So, let's jump in. Why I don't beg anymore, and neither should you. Face the unbelief, acknowledging where you believed you had to earn love or validation. Point two, confronting the fear of being alone or overlooked. And point three, recognizing how scarcity mindset showed up in relationships or work. Now, there is nothing like facing midlife when midlife doesn't look like the way you thought it will look. So, for example, for all of my single sisters in midlife like myself, I am proof positive that we had a different the word comes to mind grandiose, but that's not a good word, but definitely a different idea of what we thought this stage of our life was going to look for the next chapter, right? And it may not look that way. And being single, meaning unmarried, meaning when you go to pay the bills, it's coming out of your checking account, nobody else's, right? So, as a single woman in midlife, it's very different because every decision that we make, be it right or wrong, we are dealing with the consequences, right? And facing the unbelief and confronting the fear of being alone or overlooked is that when there is a fear or this scarcity, recognizing scarcity when the scarcity mindset showed up. When you're single in midlife, not that it wasn't that way in 20s, 30s, or 40s, but embarking on this next chapter, being single with the scarcity mindset is as if you're giving up on something, right? And do you have all the money saved up that you wanted? The scarcity mindset that you're not going to have what you need because hey, quite honestly, when you're single, once it's gone, it's gone. There is no other income to fall back on. There isn't another bank account to tap into. And that scarcity mindset could potentially have us begging or being in situations that aren't healthy, are not sustainable, are not viable in situations, relationships, jobs, whatever the case may be that we shouldn't be in because we have the scarcity mindset that, oh my goodness, how am I going to make it? That's how we have to face the unbelief and change that mindset around. Let go of the lie, releasing the lie that you're not enough as you are. Trust and believe that if this is where we find ourselves at this stage in our midlife journey, as still single, as making decisions on retirement and what we're going to do in our next chapter, you are enough. Letting go of emotional begging for crumbs of attention, affection, or acceptance, right? And the third bullet of letting go of the lie as a single woman in midlife and not begging anymore is dismantling the belief that proving yourself makes you more worthy. The fact that if we find ourselves having to prove ourselves, that is a key indicator that that's a situation we don't need to be in, right? Because at this stage of life, we have experience, we have a track record. And if we have to prove ourselves to an individual to be in a relationship or prove ourselves as if we're starting from the bottom in a job opportunity or career opportunity, then that may be an indicator that that is not a good fit for us because we are enough as we are. We've got this. We've got it. Owning our story involves bullet number one, naming the patterns of overgiving and wait for it and over explaining. What is understood doesn't have to be explained. And when you know, you know. Overgiving, coming into the relationship, coming into the situation, the work environment, the friendship, and giving, 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 giving. Notice at what point are you receiving? At what point is that same giving being reciprocated? Honoring the moment you decided begging wasn't part of your birthright. But that's not a part of your birthright. You don't at this stage of life in midlife, what are you begging for? We've made it here. Reclaiming your third point is reclaiming your power as someone who chooses rather than chases. There we go. We are in the position in life and in our journey. Actually, we've been there. We just haven't recognized it and acknowledged it and haven't moved out on it. But we are choosing rather than chasing. Even the Bible talks about blessings, overcoming us, overshadowing us, taking us over, not us chasing them down. We are at the stage of life where opportunities, we are, because we recognize that we're enough, because we recognize what it is that we bring to the table and know who we are comfortable in who we are and whose we are, that we make choices. We're not chasing. And how do we win as single women in midlife and getting to this place where we are not begging anymore? Win at the next chapter with bullet number one, showing up with self trust and self respect. Self trust and self respect. Bullet number two, building relationships. Here is coming. I'll say it slow. Building relationships based on mutual value, not performance. Mutual value and not performance. Now, understand when we go get a car, right? We want it to perform a certain way when we're paying a particular price point, right? But we're not going to overpay for a car either. So even though it may have some bells and whistles, if overall, if the car isn't worth $80,000, we're not going to pay $80,000, right? Building relationships based on mutual value is that fair exchange is not a robbery. Mutuality, mutually beneficial. Okay. Nobody's getting 75 and the other person is only getting 25. It's 100 and 100. And the third and final bullet for winning at the next chapter, once we've decided that we're not begging anymore, is living as a woman who knows her worth and no longer settles. Living as a woman who knows her worth and no longer settles. It is clear that once we know our value, we show up at job interviews differently. We walk into rooms and spaces differently. We don't determine what it feels like. We set the temperature of the atmosphere, right? Our call to action tonight, our journal, writing in our journal, is answering these two questions. Question number one: where in my life did I learn to beg for what should have been freely given? You should feel that in your sha na na. I'll say it again. Answer the question: where in my life did I learn to beg for what should have been freely given? And the second question is: what am I now claiming without apology? What am I now claiming without apology? Be certain to share this episode with someone that you know should be done. They may not be done yet, but once they hear this word, this manifestation, get this encouragement, this word of encouragement, they should be done begging, or they are done begging, and they're ready to start choosing. They know their value. They know what they bring to the table, no longer making excuses, and they're ready to stop begging. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for day 32 in the Learning How to Flow in Midlife 55-day series, 55 days of giveaways. And the giveaway is Love Your Spiritual Self, which is lesson 31 in your midlife, your way, a journey to an unapologetically authentic self. And here is the QR code, just in case you weren't able to get it off of the other screen. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have a great day.